All right, it's gonna be the sixth part to this tool haul video. You've seen all the parts starting with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and now we're just gonna. I told you this bag is pretty expensive, but this Hyper Tough bag is the most expensive Hyper Tough bag that you'd have ever seen. So we're just gonna go through this real quick before my battery dies, in no particular order. So I have the air version of this, and I have the battery part of this, the 90-degree, basically just a 90-degree mini drill from Snap-on 14-4. Well, this is their 360-degree head, which I imagine you have to turn the set screw. But this is the multi-direction head. They have a 45 that is on my to purchase list. Now these are unique as far as like niche tools, but you never know when you have to drill in a weird angle. And so I think the guy was asking $250 on this. This retail is close to like, I want to say this retail is like over $600 from Snap-on. And the guy was asking $250. I offered like $225. I think it amounted to $250 at the end of the day in terms of taxes or shipping. And yeah, so add that to my list. It works. Tried it, and it's still new. These are not brushless, so not sure how many people really know about these Steelman Pro Cobras, but this is their 92 quarter drive. I have several of these, and what's unique about them? So you have your straight position, you have your intermediate position, and then your full, so that's your flex head. Should be okay. That's your lock-in position in the middle there. There you go. And then you have your full flex. So this, I found a 3-pack for really cheap. I actually have one of the 1/2-inch, several of the 3/8, and now several of the quarter drive. The thing that I don't really like about these is how small the finish on the handle is, but yeah, maybe I'll keep these in the package, and 100 years from now they'll be worth way more, because I want to say when these were initially released, which was way before I started acquiring tools or knowing about tools, they were dirt cheap. Then they just became discontinued and scarce, and I mean, they're unique. I don't see many people talk about them, but there you go. I know. I just went on a bench and bought some older than new used Snap-on ratchets. Prior to this, I only have 1/4 inch Snap-on ratchet, and it's in my pack out over there. I would show it to you, but my battery's dying, so I got to get it over with. So, and I have several tools. This is the first blue tool I've had. I know Clay Kuhn was like the first one to kind of push for blue with the Matco stuff, I guess. At least in his videos, he would talk a lot about blue. And so color's now our thing. But what I like about this is the versatility of this ISPB steel puller, indexable head. It's pretty sharp, so be careful. These are lug nut caps. Imagine for like your bigger trucks, this is 19 and 22. Your heavy duty, maybe pickups, just a hex. And these are pretty loose in here. So this was like, I'm gonna say this was like $20, $29, if I remember correctly. I'm trying to race. So I missed a pretty good deal on this. This is another, well, I was going to compare it to the battery stuff by Easy Red, but this is actually a bolt breaker. Never really seen anyone, has anyone ever used this to break a bolt because the bolt was stuck on there and couldn't come off? Obviously, you're limited to the size of this opening. So what's that? Maybe a 17 millimeter. You crank down on the bolt and it's gonna use this cutting edge to split the bolt open, at least in theory. Well, the one I missed out on actually had a second cutter and I didn't pull the trigger on it, and so yeah, missed out on that one. But they do sell replacement thing. This is a Snap-on. Exhaust manifold spreaders. So I was actually reading that book and it talked about exhaust manifold spreaders. So especially those cast iron manifolds on older trucks or something, if they, when you try to remove them, if you can get the bolts removed, hopefully, you know, they'll tend to want to warp or something. Well, you could put one of these in between the different manifold inserts or ports, and it should keep it, you know, from warping and keep it in the same position. So I bought 4. They're like 40, there was like 12 bucks a piece or something. This is just an axle shaft puller. It says Yamaha. You can see the quad in the back. Something I'm working on. But tearing into the engine, I needed this shaft puller. Came from Europe actually. I have the 1/4 inch that I showed you, the spinner handle. This is just a 3/8 version. You can tell it's definitely less, it's not really fine tooth, for sure. And it's not really comfort grip. I don't know if they made these in comfort grips because of the spinner. So this chain right here is obviously a chain. Forged USA. 2 lifting hooks on it, and this is just for this OTC lifting load rated, I don't know, hoist, 2,000 pounds. Part number is right there. So you hook your chains in here. It's light right there, like that, and then you can obviously adjust it as needed, or you could just wear it as a chain, if you will. So I once saw these in a toolbox tour video, and these things are going off the chain as far as how expensive these are. I did not expect them to be this big though. I feel like these are very similar to my VIM ones, except they're not bend handle, but the finish on them is the same. But they're long reach as far as size, spring loaded, and yeah, they are pretty expensive. People are, I want to say I spent like 180 bucks on those, which is kind of ridiculous. Sometimes I buy tools and I look at it in hindsight, I'm like, wow, that's ridiculous. Got to clean them up. They're Snap-on, of course, so maybe that has anything to do with it. But I'm pretty sure toolbox tour videos have skyrocketed the price of some of these tools. Another tool I saw in a tool haul video was 10% remaining. Was this Honda clip tool. I own Acuras and Hondas, so if those guys swear by this stuff, I've seen 2 of them by now. 2 videos that, you know, has showcased this. 14.4, 3/4 or 3/8, inch long neck, Snap-on. I'm pretty sure that's how much I paid for it. Used. This is not brushless or anything. I have the Milwaukee's. Sure, I guess I'm trying different stuff. This guy, it's kind of bulky when I first held it, but I mean, it'll be all right, I guess. I don't know. I actually bought something like this from Harbor Freight a while back, but it's very bulky. It's like it's either 3/8 or 1/2 inch. But I mean, this is one of the, it's not new. It's been out for a little bit now, maybe a year or so. But everyone's kind of swears by these, so add that to the list. So 3/8 and 1/4 inch drive ratchets used. And then if you buy the long, then you got to buy the 3/8 short, right? I'm surprised at the girth of these things. This is brushless, so maybe that's the brushless ones with the ring around the light. They got the head on it. The guard makes it look bigger. I'm just trying to go by fast. Of course, you got to buy the 1/4 drive, non-brushless. So at some point in time, it's best to sell power tools because they lose their, not value, but they lose their power, they lose their oomph. I don't know. I got a long 1/4 drive, so I figured I'd get the long 3/8. No other reason. This one got the push button on it. This actually feels nice as far as, not because of the brand, but just because of the reach. Oh, look. I have one more power tool. That is a 1/4 drive, but this one is brushless, so 2 1/4 drive, one is brushed and one is not. And just colors. I guarantee that was an accidental purchase. And then got one more. How many Snap-on power tools have I purchased? This is not brushless, but in my tool haul video, you saw me destroy the head on one of these for the long neck. Well, the head is $100, so I'm gonna buy a head and replace it for the long neck. But just because I'm silly enough, I had just bought a new one. So what happened, I bought one for like $87, just like this. But I was not thinking about the magnet in here because there was a bit that's broken off, and I attempted to drill it. Didn't really try too hard. I could have, but then I applied heat, and then now the magnet is obviously not north and south, so it no longer retains the bit. But anyway, the head, like I said, the head unit is like $100. See, I'm trying to go through this real fast. I think in one of those purchases, I might have gotten a charger in there, H14 charger. I got a battery at some point in time. Here's another tool that looks like it could use a little bit of love, but this is a 3/8 version of this handle. A little bit beat up. Not too bad, but it will work. Might need a little bit of love. I bought a bolt cutter. Again, a Snap-on right there. The jaws don't look too bad. Sorry, I'm just trying to go through this. Oh, look, is this another 1/4 drive? I think the first one was orange. So, and then I bought this eTorx wrench set. Found this for like $90, which is crazy, and then this for like $40. Which, when I got this in the package, I was like, I can't believe I spent $40 for this E5 through E6 eTorx, and I'm missing the E16 to E20, so I got to buy it first. This set, if you buy it as a kit, it's gonna be for like over $200. I think I'm in right now, so 90 plus 40, you know, $130. So hopefully I find the next one, you know, for under $60, and then I came out, I guess. So that's the bag. I want to say this is for the OTC load tester. And then 14 minutes in this last video, so I'm actually taking an automotive course, and they offer the course online, and it's all digital ebook, and I don't like reading ebooks, but so far I've read half of this ebook. And when I bought this, to my surprise, this is the thickest book I've ever had in my life. I've had books that are bigger in terms of size, but as far as the thickness of this book, but what I appreciate about learning about some of this stuff is like, I'm translating some of the stuff that I do know and or stuff that I have heard into actual theory, like crankshaft and balance shaft, airflow control. I think I'm up to, see, what am I reading at this point? The next chapter is map and barosensors. This morning I read throttle position sensors and stuff. And so this book is really, really great. Like, so far, actually, I pretty much enjoy the electrical portion of this this book. Yeah. It wasn't bad. Now, next is hybrids, brakes and suspension components. Yeah, so that is the last part of my tool haul video, a book. So all the tools is not for, you know, for lack of better terms, shits and giggles, right? It's I'm actually investing in my ability to use these tools, apply them, not even apply the tools, but apply knowledge, right? Most of my automotive journey has been YouTube University, so just taking that initiative to take it a step further. So when I hear someone say something, I can be like, well, no, that's not the case. And the reason why I like hard copy books is because I'm a visual learner, as far as like, I can look at this book and like, yeah, I'm at least halfway through. It's like 1,700 pages and I'm at like 1,800 in there. So basically halfway through. But I'll end up buying the ebook just because it's easy to search. Especially if you have something, you don't have to go to the glossary and then try to find it. You can actually search the ebook. But I'm a big fan of like hard copy books. I do see the purpose of ebooks, lightweight, easy to move around. But for something like this technology is not going to change, you know, necessarily anytime soon. So this is a great investment. What's my favorite tool out of all these tools right here? I don't know how much battery life I have left. What am I most excited about? I have not thought about that. I didn't think about that until this minute ago. I think these are all great tools. Honestly, this is someone's toolbox right here. I got ratchets, power tools, heavy duty stuff, pry bars, a vise, jump starters, smoke detectors, battery testers, battery chargers, brake cleaner, you know, tire lowering tool, batteries, chargers, heavy duty lifts over there, anvil. So this is literally a complete new toolbox, you know. Impact, partially assembled engine stand, knowledge. So this is a lot of money. I don't want to know how much I spend, but these are all considered used tools. The only tools that I bought that was brand new, in fact, there's only 2 tools that are here that are currently in the package. This Snap-on brake bleeder stuff, and it's less than the MSRP, and so is that Power Pro right here. Everything else is used. I mean, I guess the Mueller Kebs also. Everything else is considered used or light new. But for everything is in pretty good shape. Like I said, the only thing I'm disappointed about is the fact that the thing is lost right there. And I might reach out to FedEx or something, see if they can find it, because it seems pretty cool. If you don't know, I'm talking about these adapters. So I have 2 of these units. That one got lost in shipping and lost the adapters. Now it's time to clean up. And by clean up, I mean, I'm just gonna stash them like literally in here for now. So stash them in here. Just because I don't have the time to do all this stuff. I mean, you can see my hutch. My hutch is a mess because I've been working on this. Well, last thing I was working on was this. You can see there's plastic bags in there and there's plugs and stuff. And the back is off and it's just a mess. So that stuff is a mess. I just put a 18 volt battery in these. These are complete garbage. Not talking about the brand. This is just old. It's seen its life cycle, and it's time to move on. And I think it's also time to move on for me. I don't see myself holding on to this. Not sure why I even purchased it, but for the size of these are not. These are so underpowered. But again, they're old, so I'm not ragging on the brand. Even the little even a low 3/8. And again, I'm not ragging on the brand. It's just sometimes you win, sometimes you lose with power tools, especially used power tools. And yeah, anyway, what's my favorite tool out of all this? I'm most excited about trying to lift my truck with those. And I'm just gonna lift the frame, lift from the frame. But yeah, these are awesome, heavy duty. It brings a new, someone said I'm stepping into a new realm and I need more space. I actually need more space. I'm not gonna go into the details of that, but I do need more space because I like quality tools and I like tools. So before this video actually dies on me, I'm gonna try to get it uploaded. Hopefully everyone enjoyed all 6 segments of this, all 6 parts of this tool haul. I'm getting to the point where I have so much to do where doing videos is almost like a waste of my time, but I know there's people out there who get something from it, who have the enjoyment, the same thing I enjoy out of watching the videos that people post. So, but I'm at a point where, I remember at the start of the year start of 2024, I did a 24-part series to my entire tool haul setup, not to include this stuff. So this stuff adds more, parts to that whole 24 volume. But when I look back, I'm like, that's a lot of my time wasted. And here's a kicker. I'm not editing video. This stuff is I make it, and if there's nothing that's captured in my video, like my kids running around naked or something, it gets posted immediately. Because if they're running around naked and I'm 20 minutes into a video, I'm gonna delete that video and I'm gonna start over. But for the most part, if I make a mistake, which sometimes I watch my videos and I say stuff and I'm like, keep going, my videos are not edited, and hence the reason why everything is unfiltered, right? So editing would just be a lot of time. I don't make money from YouTube. My stuff is not monetized. This is just for all funsy, but at some point in time, funsy eats up time. But I'm not saying I'm gonna discontinue. I'm just gonna say I have a lot more stuff in the works than just showing off tools. And that's not an excuse for being absent for the last couple months. It's just life. Right, but as you can see, my wallet was not absent from, my presence, I guess. So hopefully you enjoy. Favorite tool, these Emerson 210, 110 model ear jacks for heavy duty lift. Again, these 2 big ones can lift 48,000 pounds, and I want to say those 2 small ones can lift 24,000 pounds. And it depends on the PSI. So if you're running 200 PSI, you can lift that max capacity. If you drop to like 90 PSI, you probably can lift 6,000 pounds. I don't know. There's a chart out there. American made, Omaha, Nebraska, or maybe the place is called Emerson, Nebraska. I'm not certain. Been to Nebraska once, now I'm ranting. But anyway, like me, I always say, like on anything.